in the stories of Jesus after his resurrection, there's wonderful truth that shows us what Christianity is really all about. And I love the story of Peter. And you know the story, you're probably familiar with it. Peter, that loud, boisterous, pompous, put his foot in the mouth kind of guy who said that he would follow Jesus to the end, that he would never be unfaithful, that he would always be true. And Peter was a good man, and he really meant that. But you know the story where in that courtyard, Jesus makes eye contact with Peter, and Peter realizes that he said before the rooster crows 3 times that he would deny Jesus. And I think that's the situation that a lot of us can identify, when life can almost become unbearable. When, you see, Peter didn't know who he was until he denied Jesus. Then he found out who he really was, and he didn't like it. And life can almost become unbearable when we find that out, that who we are, we don't like. And then there's the continuation of the story where in John 21, Jesus and Peter meet again, and it's on a beach. And Jesus cooks breakfast for his disciples. And he says to Peter, hey, let's take a walk. And on that walk, Jesus asked Peter 3 questions. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? You see, Jesus knew that Peter loved him. And he reinstates him there on the beach. You see, we have all these ideals that we want to live up to be good, to be true, to be faithful, to do this, to not do that. And when we fail, it's painful. And can you imagine even Peter's pain? Denying someone you love the most. It's almost makes someone suicidal. But what prevented that from happening is Peter knew he was loved. And there's a legend that is told. It's not in the Bible, it's a legend, but I love it, and it kind of moves me to tears. And it's that in later years, Peter was the same old Peter he always was. Loud, boisterous, proud. And he's in Rome. And during that time, Nero decided to persecute Christians. And so Peter is fleeing from Rome. And as he walks on the Appian Way, leaving Rome, he sees Jesus approaching him, traveling on the same road, but in the opposite direction. And Peter asks Jesus, where goest thou? Where are you going, Lord? And Jesus says, I'm going back to Rome to die for you again. And here we see the incredible, marvelous, stupendous, beyond comprehension, love, grace, and mercy of God. In spite of ourselves, all of our failures, all of our unfaithfulness, all of our flippin' ways we mess up, in spite of all of that, we are loved. We are loved, we are loved, we are loved, and we can always go home again. We can always start again. Never-ending forgiveness, everlasting forgiveness, everlasting love. So when you hate yourself, when you don't like yourself, when it's almost unbearable to know who you really are, know who you really are. One who is dearly loved by Christ, no matter what. And may that truth, and living in that truth today, help you and I to live all the days of our life. Until next time, may that be so.